Hello and welcome to UC Today. My name's David Dungay. Today I am joined by Jeff Bloss, a BCM One CEO. Welcome to the show, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks very much for the opportunity. Appreciate it, David.
Fantastic. So today we're going to be talking about something very, very exciting in the BCM One history and a recent acquisition of PureIP. But Jeff, before we get into that and what that means exactly, maybe we could start with a bit of an introduction. Can you tell us a bit about BCM One and yourself?
Sure. Happy to. Great business story. BCM was founded a little bit over 30 years ago in 1992. Over the course, as I think you'd expect, over the course of our 30 years, we've gone through a number of evolutions and changes with who we are and how we go to market. But really, at our core, since our beginning, way to think about our business is a technology provider, kind of uniquely focused on supporting voice as an application within the enterprise. As I mentioned, we've done that in a variety of different ways over the course of our 30 years. Most recently, and I think the way to think about us in market today is a provider that's focused on a suite of next-gen communication solutions, namely our SIP trunking platforms, our UCaaS platforms, and now with the acquisition of PureIP, the capability to deliver voice services and PSTN services into the collaborative tools of Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and Cisco Webex. Great business. I've been a part of it since 2012. I joined from a career in industry prior, and then moved to the service provider space when I joined BCM in 2012. Really helped the prior ownership team go through, I think, a transformation of our business to eventually lead to our recapitalization under our current financial sponsors, Thompson Street Capital Partners, a private equity based out of St. Louis, Missouri, who took majority control of our business in 2019. And that's when I stepped into the role of CEO and helped lead under Thompson Street stewardship our movement really into the next-gen communication and managed services space.
Great. Well, thanks for that. Let's dive straight into the conversation then, Jeff. Tell us a bit more about this deal with PureIP. Maybe we should start with the strategy. What was the thinking behind the deal, and what is the strategy there going forwards?
Yeah, so when we recapitalized in 19, there were really three elements to our strategy that we laid out at that time. One was geographic expansion. We were highly focused prior to our recap. We were highly focused in the northeastern United States, and so geographic expansion nationally and then internationally was a key component of our strategy. Second, as I mentioned, was a keen focus in the next-gen communication space, the SIP trunking, UCaaS, and whatever that evolves into as the years progress. And then third was really owning more and more of the platform of services that we deliver out to our clients. And so, PureIP is our ninth acquisition, and I think when we look at all candidate opportunities to acquire, somehow it's got to tell a story that fits in one or more of those components of our strategy. And I think it's pretty clear if you look at PureIP as a business, very heavy international footprint, really an outstanding offering in that next gen communication space and the PSTN replacement services for collaborative tool sets, and is I think outstanding piece of intellectual property for us to own and another platform of services that we've got the capability to extend and deliver out to our clients. So I think on the surface, initial conversations with Gary Forrest, the founder and former CEO of PureIP, it was pretty clear that the business checked all three of those boxes for us. And then as we did further diligence, strong team, I think has made significant efforts in the information security, regulatory, and compliance standpoint that was very attractive to us. Very strong international footprint, very strong presence in the enterprise base, and then we thought culturally was an extraordinarily good fit with our team and our organization. So that's was our excitement around it, and it really built throughout the course of our diligence process with Pure.
Yeah. So as with all acquisitions of this nature, there will be customers on both sides, probably with some questions and thoughts as to what's going on, etc. Let's start with the PureIP side first. What does this mean for firstly the brand and then the customer base of PureIP currently?
Yeah, I think our message to all of the clients, partners, suppliers that have joined a relationship with BCM through acquisition is our goal is really do no harm is the starting point, right? You've got a strong relationship with PureIP built on the history and track record of their performance for you. I think one of the reasons why we've been as successful as we have with the acquisitions that we've made is we don't come in and make change for change's sake. I think we acquire good, strong businesses. And the mindset that we have is what can we do to help and augment their growth and not come in and change and disturb what is already a successful business. So I think end of the day, the message for the clients and partners of PureIP today is hopefully they don't see much change, that they continue to see the value in the relationship that they initially saw with PureIP under its new ownership with BCM. And if anything, hopefully there's an opportunity for them to see that there are additional services and capabilities that PureIP will be able to bring to them as part of the BCM One family of brands. I think PureIP will likely remain a brand, a logo, and identity that remains in market. There's a very strong element of brand capital associated to it today and brand awareness that's out there today. And so I think there is a strong argument to be made for preservation of brand. It's something that we've done with a number of the acquisitions that we've made, is figure out an appropriate way that logo, that identity can be maintained and really expanded upon as part of the BCM One family of brands. And so, our hope is that those clients and partners continue to see the power and strength of the relationship that they had historically with PureIP as a standalone business. And if anything, they get some of the incremental value as part of being, part of a larger organization. We'll continue to invest, we'll continue to support, and we'll continue to make PureIP a successful business and a successful partner for them.
I'm sure you'll have some partners on the BCM side wondering what this means for them as well, and what kind of enhancements that bring to their portfolio. Maybe you could talk around a little bit around your partner base and ultimately your customers as well, the end customers.
Yeah, I mean, BCM historically, one of the other tenets, in addition to being a voice-focused business, one of the other tenets has really been a partner-driven business. In the United States, it's a key way where there's distribution of our products and services out to market. I think what this does for our partner community at BCM is really expand the portfolio of services that they've got the capability to sell out to their end clients. We're seeing, particularly in the United States, we're seeing a significant amount of traction on delivering PSTN replacement services. Pure is clearly one of the leaders. PureIP is clearly one of the leaders in being able to deliver those services out in market to large scale enterprises. And I think it'll give our loyal partners the capability to leverage their relationship with us to continue to win more business with their end client and continue to improve the value proposition that they can bring out to their end clients.
Yeah, maybe you could talk about that requirement in market that led to this acquisition as well. We're seeing these big vendor ecosystems, which people are looking for value in and around, and of course PureIP, they do address some of those big ecosystems with some quite unique propositions there. But what do you see that as that market requirement that really led to this kind of acquisition?
Yeah. Great question. I mean, we knew, and I think some of the interest why we surfaced the initial conversation with Gary back last year about PureIP, we see where the market's going. If you think about what happened within the enterprise in COVID, you had a lot of large enterprise organizations moving to these collaborative tool sets of whether it's Teams or whether it was Webex or Zoom. They really had no choice but to very quickly move to support either a hybrid or fully remote workforce in the COVID environment. And I think as we've got out of the pandemic mode of work and transitioned into kind of the new normal, I think a lot of those larger enterprise organizations are trying to rationalize their communication spend and communications footprint. That they very quickly, and maybe not in a fully planned out manner, went through, for example, a Teams deployment, but now they're looking at a landscape in their organization that's got Teams. They've got some traditional telephony that's still being delivered out there. They may have on-premise PBXs. They may have some cloud UCaaS solutions, and I think they're trying to go through a rationalization of what's the right story for them. And where most of our client base and the feedback that we get from a lot of our partners, where a lot of their clients are ending up, is looking at a solution where they're trying to simplify, and they're trying to say, okay, I want to go with whether it's Teams or Zoom or Cisco Webex. I want to simplify the communication footprint that my employees have to navigate through. Still need PSTN connectivity, need to be able to support a hybrid solution for a period of time, need to be able to support some kind of unique use cases that still linger out there. And I think that's, we knew when we looked at our portfolio prior to the acquisition, we knew that was a gap for us, and it really was the importance of our investment in PureIP is it really takes us into the next generation of where we see the mid to large enterprise voice application being delivered, and the capability to do it in a hybrid manner, the capability to terminate it into a variety of different endpoints, and really provide a migration roadmap for those enterprises to navigate towards to their desired end state.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in such a fascinating time for the market. We've had the COVID period come, been and gone, and a lot of those contracts, with those companies, they went out and bought that collaboration technology. Well, probably 3 or more years ago now. A lot of those contracts are coming up for renewal. People are trying to figure out what hybrid work means for them. So it's a very exciting time. I mean, as you look forwards, obviously you see some value around these big vendor sort of collaboration platforms. But where do you see that big growth coming from for yourselves? What's your kind of thoughts on the market as you look ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. What's going on, broadly in the economy is a very interesting time, right? We've got interest rates, inflation rates, over the last 12 months had kind of hit unprecedented levels over recent times. There's some odd recessionary behavior that's going on in buying decisions, purchase decisions that you see in market. And I think what we're seeing from our, particularly the larger scale enterprises, is a need to rationalize spend, right? And a need to, in the COVID environment, I think there was spend money to keep the business running, and figure it out later was kind of the mindset that a lot of the organizations went through. And I think now what it is okay, we've got a tightened budget, we've got some fiscal accountability that it has come in. And we need to figure out what's the wisest and most efficient way for us to spend our communication dollar. And I think the trend that we're seeing more than anything else is really that efficiency is coming through simplifying the number of relationships and complexity of relationships that they have with all the different providers that deliver voice services out there. And I think the opportunity for us, both through our next-gen communications offerings, now adding PureIP's capability into the fold, and then also the capability to deliver and support the underlying network services, is a unique time for us to take advantage of, where a large-scale enterprise would be able to drastically simplify the number of complexity of supplier relationships that they have, reduce the footprint of technology that they need to rely on, and provide a simple, very efficient mechanism for their organization to collaborate internally, as well as to communicate out to their end clients. I think that's the opportunity that we really need to seize on and take advantage of over the course of the next 12 to 18 months.
Great. Well, Jeff, unfortunately, that is all we've got time for. But once again, congratulations on the acquisition, and thank you for coming along and sharing some of your insights on the market with me.
I appreciate it. Always happy to do it, and you have a wonderful day.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on UC Today. If you like today's conversation, please give us a like and share on social media. That's it from me. See you next time.